So I'm gonna look at this one and this one. Let's look at the TED Talk first. Can you stop?
All information was
Relax. But yeah, I even made my sub badges and stuff. Yin yang symbol. And I don't know. It's just like I don't know why it has a hold on me. It definitely has a hold on me. And I have to order me another necklace one, but I have a charm. This yin yang. You feel me? Um, have a charger that's yin yang. What else? What else? My Xbox gamer profile is yin yang. I don't know. I'm really tied to this, and I gotta research more about it. Basically, so this is that. So let's get into it. I would say that I can be a balance of both. So I feel like most of the time I am more of a yin than yang, but yeah. I have galaxy tapestries all over my room. Um y'all can't see that, but I'm very attracted to space and the stars and yeah. But yeah, let's get into it. I'm talking a lot, but I'm just trying to tell y'all, what's going on, you feel me? Alright, here we go. The meaning The Hidden Meanings of Yin Yang by John Bellamy. TED Talk. I haven't listened to TED Talk in a minute.
You might have seen this symbol before, whether it's as a temporary tattoo or at a Chinese temple. It's called the yin-yang symbol. It comes from Taoism, a religion born in China, and it has far more meaning than you probably realize. The yin is the dark swirl and the yang is the light one, and each side has a dot of the opposite color,
Yep.
which gives a clue to the meaning of yin and yang. Everything contains the seed of its opposite. Darth Vader has the seed of goodness, and Luke has the potential to follow his father to the dark side. Like Luke and his father, yin and yang are not total opposites. They are relative to each other. Taoists believe that the universe is made up of energies, vibrations, and matter which behave differently in different contexts. Something can be yin or yang depending on lots of things. So while wheat that's growing is yang, when it's being reaped, it's yin. A wave's crest is yang.
Wait, what? Hold up. I gotta I gotta do something really quickly. There we go. Save. Alright, we're good. Alright, let's hear what he said about the wheat.
Depending on lots of things. So while wheat that's growing is yang, when it's being reaped, it's yin.
Oh, okay,
A
I
wave's
got you.
crest is yang, and the trough is yin.
Trough is
Villages on
yin.
the sunny side of a valley in China have names like Luoyang or Shiyang. But on the shady side, for example, of the Yangtze River Valley, there's Jiang Yin.
Okay.
The brake is yin to the gas pedal's yang. An eggshell is yang. The egg inside is yin. You think you're getting it?
Yeah,
Yang is
of
harder,
course.
stronger, brighter, and faster, but one can turn into the other, or are two sides of the same coin. The sunbeams are yang in comparison to the shadows. The pitch is yang, the catch is yin. The yang starts an action and the yin receives it, completes it. Yin is the inside space of a cup. Wouldn't be a cup without it. Yang is the cup. The coffee's heat, however, is yang, and its blackness is yin.
Okay.
Yang goes berserk sometimes, but there's some very powerful yins too, if they don't quite go berserk. Yin is the darker swirl, the female, but there's a white dot in it. And yang is the lighter, the male, but it has a black dot. Water flowing calmly in a river is yin, but when it goes over the waterfall, it's very yang. Toothpicks are yin compared with a telephone pole. The back of a person is more yang than the front. The top of the person is the yang end. Taoism teaches that there is a power in the universe. It's higher, deeper, and truer than any other force. They call it the Tao. It means the way.
The way.
Like the Force in Star Wars, the Tao has two sides. Unlike other religions where the higher power is all good and perhaps has an all evil rival, Taoism teaches that we need to learn from both yin and yang. And unlike religions with gods that are personal, the higher power in Taoism is not. Taoists believe that living in harmony with the way, a person will not have to fight against the universe's natural flow. So, for example, listen more, argue less. Be ready to back up or undo something, and you will make even faster progress. Don't worry about being the best. Be who you are.
Number three. Number three is, yo. They're running, man. Hey, hit the, okay. So the calmer one is yin, right? Yeah,
Flow.
of course.
So, for example, listen more,
Because I flow,
argue
I'm
less.
calm.
Be ready to back up or undo something, and you will make even faster progress. Don't worry about being the best. Be who you are. Live simply. Complications take you away from the Tao. The wise person is flexible, Taoists say. Learning to use the Tao is what Taoism is all about. And that's why you should know your yin from your yang.
Okay, that was pretty simple. Kind of just told me the difference between them. But I'm trying to go deeper, you feel me? I'm trying to go deeper.
Hi.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Who are you? Who are you, gang? Who are you? We're not listening to you yet. I'll listen to you another time. Okay. This. I might keep these two videos together. I don't know. Let's separate it. Actually, no. Actually, no. Not gonna do that. So this is the other one I want to watch. This is the deep meaning of yin yang.
All information whatsoever can be translated into terms of yang and yin.
555.
Alan Watts.
Alan Watts.
The concept
My boy. My boy. All information whatsoever can be translated into terms of yin and yin. Okay. That's what the other video just told me, kind of.
and
Basically.
yin. Alan Watts. The concept of yin and yang lies at the basis of Taoist philosophy. It makes a lot of appearances in popular and consumer culture, representing things like balance and inner peace. But the profundity of yin and yang goes way beyond that. When we really get this mysterious philosophy, it may change our view on the universe forever. This video is an attempt to explain the deep meaning of yin and yang.
Yes, please. Let's get deeper, bro. Let's get deep.
The idea behind yin and yang is kind of paradoxical. The black and white stand for two opposing forces that are also complementary. This constant mutual attraction and repulsion causes constant change that manifests in what we call the universe. Phenomena like life and death, winter and summer, matter and emptiness are all physical manifestations of yin and yang. Yin and yang can be translated as dark, light, or negative, positive, and is often referred to as masculine versus feminine, especially in the ancient masterpiece written by Lao Tzu called the Tao Te Ching. We can see that he talks about the feminine, or the Great Mother, being the mysterious, receptive and passive force represented by the black part of the yin-yang symbol, and the masculine being the active force that is basically most visible and prominent, represented by the white part. Now, this isn't meant to be sexist. The word feminine is a way to describe the characteristics of one opposite, while the masculine describes the other. Men and women both possess yin and yang characteristics, which was also observed by Swiss psychologist Carl Jung, who spoke about
Carl
the
Jung.
unconscious masculine side of the woman, the animus, and the unconscious feminine side of the man, the anima. Moreover, when we look at the yin and yang symbol, we see a black dot in the white area and a white dot in the black area, representing the idea that both feminine and masculine carry the seed of one another. So what are the differences between yin and yang? And what can be considered yin and what can be considered yang? Before I'm able to explain this, it's important to note that there are no absolutes. What's yin or yang really depends on the situation. Here's what Lao Tzu wrote in chapter 2 of the Tao Te Ching. Being and non-being produce each other. Difficult and easy complement each other. Long and short define each other. High and low oppose each other. Fore and aft follow each other. End quote. Each example given has a yin and yang element in it. Both yin and yang complement each other. Yin represents a series of characteristics that are generally passive, empty, low, cold, and dark in nature. Things like passivity and emptiness seem of little value, but they actually harbor an immense power, which I'll talk about in a minute.
I'm not low.
We can describe yang as the active and masculine element, that is, generally found in things like light, warmth, height, fullness, aggression, and speed. So if we look at the verses...
Okay, hold on, relax. See, sometimes, it gets me, because, like, how is the masculine more, warm and light, and the feminine is dark and cold? How?
From the Tao Te Ching, we can say that long is considered yang, while short is considered yin. Being is considered
Definitely
yang,
short,
while non-being is considered yin. One cannot exist without the other, and whether one is yin or yang depends on the relationship between the two. Now, while the functionality of yang seems obvious, the value of yin is often overlooked. Yet, it contains great power. A good example to show this power is the functionality of a mug. The yang aspects of the mug are the material that it's made of, which is most likely hard and dry material. So what makes the mug really useful? The answer is, it's emptiness. Without emptiness, a mug can't hold any liquids. If we look at emptiness in this way, we'll see that it's a vital part of everything we do. Without the emptiness of the space around us, we can't punch or shoot a soccer ball. Without emptiness in sound, we can't speak, because we need pauses to separate the tones. We can't enter a room that isn't empty, and without the vast empty space in the universe, our solar system wouldn't function. Another aspect of yin is its passivity. Society looks down on passivity. It's all about being proactive, getting results, going from point A to point B, and action over cessation. Because of this, we generally lack respect for the passive element of life. This is strange when we think about it, since passivity is essential for every form of accomplishment. Take strength training, for example. Muscles aren't built in the gym, they're built in bed, on a couch, and in any situation in which they don't work, so that the course of nature can rebuild the muscle tissue so they turn out stronger for the next lifting session. A key characteristic of yin is receptiveness, and because of its receptiveness, it attracts. We see this dynamic everywhere in nature, from flowers waiting to be pollinated by insects to a beautiful woman in a bar who is waiting for a man to make the first move, and even a black hole that just sits there without actively reaching out, while its gravitational forces attract everything that comes nearby. Lao Tzu also describes yin as soft, as he compares it to water in relation to hard rock, which is the yang aspect in relation to the water. The Grand Canyon is proof that water overcomes the heart without striving. On the other hand, yin is nowhere without yang. warmth and light for example, are necessary for life, and emptiness becomes only useful when there's something built around it. Also, a flower can only be pollinated if insects actively approach it and do what they need to do. But if we look closer, we see that the masculine aspect within a certain context always carries a feminine aspect and vice versa. The bee, for example, can be considered yang in relation to the flower, but the bee itself contains yin and yang aspects, like emptiness versus fullness, defensiveness versus offensiveness, and passivity versus activity. Even when we look at every component of the bee separately, we'll find a masculine and feminine aspect, until we reach the level of the atom, in which we encounter a positively charged core surrounded by negatively charged electrons. The yin and yang pattern is the essence of binary code that solely consists of ones and zeros, as philosopher Alan Watts puts it. You could say that all your perceptions, in all their variety and all their color, are made up of a vast composite of little yeses and little nos. End quote. Looking at the complementary nature of yin and yang, we can say that both feminine and masculine keep each other in check. When one becomes too dominant, the other will grow until it becomes dominant, and then the other side will grow. One of the most clear examples is politics, which goes from left to right, from conservative to liberal, and so on. Lao Tzu wrote that no movement is possible if an opposite movement hasn't occurred before it. I quote, "If you want something to return to the source, you must first allow it to spread out. If you want something to weaken, you must first allow it to become strong. If you want something to be removed, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to possess something, you must first give it away." End quote. Thus, we could say that everything is a complementary manifestation, or perhaps a dance between the masculine and the feminine. Yin and yang complement each other, create each other, support each other, regulate each other, and transform each other. The latter we see when a male and female reproduce. And by merging the feminine and masculine, a child is created that, again, consists of innumerable yins and yangs. Yin and yang is everywhere, in every object, every living organism, every cell, and every single component that can be endlessly divided in masculine and feminine. Non-doing, or effortless action, also called wu-wei by the Taoists, is a practice that actually harvests the power of both yin and yang. The trick is knowing when to act and when not to, so our actions won't be strenuous, but more in a flow state. Thus, by embracing yin, we become more receptive for the natural course of the universe. In many cases, there's no need to act. An over-enthusiastic salesman scares away potential clients, and an overly clingy girlfriend scares away the man she is in a relationship with. Many problems solve themselves. Furthermore, acting oftentimes only worsens the situation. By backing off, we enter a yin state. The key is knowing when to back off and when not to. Too much passivity can be as bad as too little. No matter what you do, there will always be a dark and light side to everything. Your food only tastes delicious because you've tried something disgusting in the past. You're only pretty because someone else is ugly. You're only rich because other people are poor. Therefore, you need the disgusting food to enjoy the good food. You need ugly people in order to be pretty.
Just
and
like
you need the poor to be
there
rich.
won't be no light,
Because
there was
without
no
the
darkness.
opposites, there's nothing to support your position in the hierarchy. With the invaluable knowledge that there can be one without the other, we might want to be more thankful to that nasty coworker, that guy who cuts us off in traffic, those barbaric people in other countries with different cultures and beliefs, and that drug dealer at the corner.
Why do we want to be about the people that cut us off? Why? Like why?
To that nasty coworker, that guy who cuts us off in traffic, those barbaric people in other countries with different cultures and beliefs, and that drug dealer at the corner of the
We're not
street.
even gonna get into it.
Because thanks to them, we can look in the mirror and say, I'm such a good person. Thank you for watching.
Okay. Okay. has no man, that's where life begins. Interesting. Yep. Um. Okay. Well, I pretty much get it. Pretty much get it, bro. I'm still gonna watch this one with the lady, but not today. Um. Let's look up some comments. I think I pretty much get the point. Like yin yang is basically balance in life. Can't have something without the other. It's like you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I feel like it's very simple and it's just like you know. But why am I so attracted to it? Like I don't know. I'm so attracted to it. And masculine and feminine energy, that light and that dark, that positivity and that negativity. You're you are only beautiful because someone else is ugly. Finally, I understand my contributions to human race. Without death, there is no life. Without life, there is no death. Oh my gosh! Speaking of that, have y'all seen Sandman? I'm going on a tangent. Hold up. I'm going on a tangent. Hold on. We'll talk about Sandman after this, so I can stop the video. Um, I remember when I read the Tao. I almost said T. Tao Ching many years ago that Lao talked about most people were either afraid of death or afraid of life, and only a minority of people were wise enough to simply enjoy the dance of existence with no fear of living and dying. See, I used to have a fear of death, but now I don't because like we're energy and we're basically like a spirit, in a physical suit, as some would say, an avatar, and like basically, I feel like we have like eternal life, basically. 'Cause, like once we transition or transmute from this physical, our spirit kind of goes to a different realm, basically, and does whatever it needs to do there, whatever. Anyways, yeah, so not really afraid of death anymore. Life. How can you have a fear of living? The word dying should not exist. It is only when there is great focus that other dimensions are ignored. Here we go. Jesus. Always Christians. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. Okay, great. Eckhart Tolle? I read his book. Really good book. Alright, yang. Okay, it's yin yang. It's like breathing in and out. Yes, you need them both. Yep. You know the moment when you are deeply sad for what appears no good reason. I heard once that you are mourning the death of a stranger and that had no one to mourn them. Balance and flow are beautiful in life. It's both comedy and tragedy. Okay, cool, sure, true. Yin Yang is a symbol demonstrating that nothing in nature is absolute or pure. Yeah. In general, when it is applied to human behavior, yin and yang can be interpreted as no human can be 100% bad or to be 100% good. And every black hearted person can find a spot shining goodness and vice versa. Indeed, a very powerful, meaningful symbol. Okay. Bro, what? I'm single so other people can be in a relationship. Okay, so to put it in a nutshell, yin yang means one cannot exist without the other. The senses need the opposite counterparts to exist. Okay. Okay. One cannot exist without the other. Okay. In essence, yin yang theory says life is not black or white because everything has two sides, like yin yang. More accurately, it is. I'm making this really long. I'm sorry. Hold on. More accurately, one does not exist without the other. It is that they both always existed. This, thus, the infinite circle that both yin and yang are part of, but you see them as one or the other, two opposite halves, rather than one and the other, a whole with two or more characteristics. The left can be called left because you call something else the right. Yep. That one cannot exist without the other is the most controversial part. It seems to me like just an illusion. For example, we could say there's no shadows without light, no shadows in darkness, but shadow itself is a piece of darkness. Oh my gosh. Dude's getting deep, and hold on, I might have to read it again. True, if we don't see any shadows, darkness everywhere is indistinguishable from darkness nowhere. But even if we cannot see the difference, the fact is that there is a difference. There are no shadows without light. Right, no shadows in darkness, but shadow itself is a piece of the darkness. Ooh, okay. Okay. Hold up. Yeah, another example would be attractive people. If I'm in a room full of people I'm attracted to, the rest of the planet's population could be wiped out and I wouldn't find the people in the room less attractive. I'm sorry. Us loving these fans to get big, us fans being small makes them big. This is so funny. We need ugly people. Yin Yang symbol can help you recognize if you see things in unity or in separation. If you see yin yang as two halves, then you don't see the connection between them and will view the world as separated and against itself. If you see yin yang as a circle with two parts, then you see that there is unity in everything, even those you call good, bad. Thus, the philosophy of life. I am separated from the world, and the world is for against me or against me. I am the world, and it nurtures me through experiencing both preferences, good, bad. The inner circle within one half represents the even in the half. There's unity that can break down to parts. So the good half can be broken down to other parts that represents the good. It doesn't just mean that there is an opposite side within this side. It's infinite traversal within the self, where the self is the circle, and within the half is another circle with which represents the yin yang circle. Okay. Okay. After that one, I'm done. I'm done. All right, that was it. I think I pretty much get it. I think I pretty much get it. I think. Suffering isn't so bad when you know it's just a counterweight to happiness. This is so deep. All greatest stories have this kind of thing too. All right, that's it for that.